The dust hung in the afternoon air like a curtain that refused to rise, and beneath it the auction yard buzzed with low voices, boots scraping, coins clinking, and the brittle laughter of men who treated other lives as numbers. And when the woman was pushed onto the platform, she kept her eyes forward, spine straight, refusing to let fear bend her, even though the signboard hanging at her neck explained everything she could not bear to say aloud. And when the auctioneer barked his opening price, a murmur rippled through the crowd, for her clothes were plain, but her dignity was not. And someone asked where her husband was, and the question sliced deeper than any blade, because the answer was standing there in the shade, avoiding her gaze, counting debts instead of breaths. And when a bidder shouted a number that made her stomach drop, she finally spoke, voice steady but thin as thread, saying, "My husband sold me to cover his debts," and the words landed hard, exposing a truth everyone already suspected, but few cared to hear. And the crowd shifted uncomfortably, some with shame, others with hunger, until a lone cowboy at the fence lifted his hat, not to bid, but to see her face clearly. And what he saw was not merchandise, but resolve, the kind forged by nights of quiet endurance. And he remembered his own mother's hands, worn and honest, and the promise he once made to never turn away when injustice wore a human face. And as the bidding climbed, he stepped forward, boots firm, eyes calm, and the auctioneer sneered, recognizing a man who did not belong to the usual trade. And when the cowboy spoke, his voice cut through the noise like clean water through dust, saying simply, "I'm buying your freedom," and laughter broke out, mocking the idea that freedom had a price. But he named a sum that silenced them, a sum that paid the debts, shamed the husband, and ended the sale. And when the gavel struck, the woman felt the rope loosen from her chest for the first time in months, though she did not yet know what came next. And as he stepped closer, he did not touch her, did not claim her, only removed the sign from her neck and handed it back to the auctioneer as if returning a lie. And he said her name like it mattered, because it did. And as the crowd dispersed, disappointed and irritated, the husband vanished into the dust, smaller than his debts. And the cowboy led her away to the edge of town where the noise faded and the sky opened wide. And there he explained, not with speeches but with actions, that freedom meant choice, that she could leave at dawn, keep the money if she wished, take a horse, take time, take her life back piece by piece. And she listened, wary but hopeful, realizing that sometimes rescue did not arrive with chains of obligation but with the quiet courage to do what was right. And as night fell and a small fire warmed the air, she told her story in fragments, of promises broken, of love turned into leverage, of strength discovered when everything else was taken. And the cowboy listened without interrupting, because respect is a language spoken best in silence. And before sleep claimed them both, he looked toward the stars and thought of the road ahead, knowing that freedom, once bought, still had to be defended. And if this story moves your heart, remember to subscribe to Hearts of Kindness, where courage, compassion, and hope ride on long after the dust settles. Morning came pale and honest, the kind of dawn that does not pretend yesterday did not happen. And the woman woke with the strange weightlessness of someone no longer owned, yet unsure how to stand without the familiar burden. And the cowboy was already awake, brewing coffee, keeping a respectful distance, as if guarding not her body but her choices. And he told her again that she owed him nothing, that freedom did not come with strings. And she tested the truth of that by asking for time, by asking for a path that did not circle back to the same pain. And he nodded, offering a map, a horse, and a chance to work alongside him if she wished, not as property but as partner in survival. And as they rode out, the land stretched wide, mirroring the space opening inside her. And along the trail they encountered whispers of the auction, some praising the cowboy, others calling him foolish. And when danger followed in the form of men who believed a price once set could be reclaimed, the cowboy stood firm, not with cruelty but with resolve, making it clear that some lines, once crossed, could never be uncrossed. And through these trials the woman discovered her own strength sharpening, learning to ride with confidence, to speak without apology, to decide without fear. And one evening by the fire she confronted the truth that hurt most, that betrayal does not define the betrayed. And she let the shame fall away like dust shaken from a coat. And the cowboy, seeing her stand taller, knew his role was changing from rescuer to witness, from buyer of freedom to protector of dignity. And when she finally chose her own future, whether it led down the trail with him or toward a town where her name could be rebuilt, it was her choice alone, and that was the victory that mattered. And as they parted under a sky painted with sunset, she thanked him not for saving her, but for believing her life was worth more than a debt, and he tipped his hat, watching her ride toward a horizon earned by courage. And the story spread, not as legend, but as reminder, that kindness can interrupt cruelty, that one brave decision can break a chain meant to last a lifetime. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be told, stories where hope stands its ground against injustice, subscribe to Hearts of Kindness, and ride with us for more powerful journeys where humanity always finds a way forward.